Now let's go to Legends, and I will right click on that and make a new legend, and we'll call it Windows. We really only have, I think, well, 2 or 3 different styles of windows here. Actually, well, you take out the doors that are glassed. We've only got 2, I think. So let's go OK. And we'll go to our windows in our families. And we have, I don't think we used any fixed ones, but we used casement window double, and we used a double hung one. We don't have a reference to these right here, so I'm going to go back to our window schedule. We have a double hung 30 by 46 and a double hung 24 by 42, and then we have these casement of 34 by 36. So let me see if I can try to remember those when we get back to our window legend. So we have a 34 by 36. I drag it onto the legend, and I'm going to change it from a floor plan view to an elevation view because we really want to be able to be descriptive of what we are using here. So we had that one, I believe it was, and we had a double hung. Let's go back to the window schedule again. So this one is, oops, excuse me, I have to save the project. I guess I've already named it Schedules and Legends Start. Actually, I just wrote over the wrong file. Let's go back to the window schedule. So that's 34 by 36 I just put in, and now we need the 2 sizes of the double hung. One's a 24 and one's a 30. So back to the window schedule, 24, and once again, elevation front. And we'll just line it up with the other one. And let's see if I can grab this one and drag it on. And elevation. Now these would have the other thing you might want to put in here is kind of a ground plane. And then you could set up dimensions for how high these were off the floor. So I'm going to come up to what would be the bottom of the window. Let me tab here. Trying to catch that one. And we'll actually place this now on the drawing so you can see what's going on better. So let's go back to our legends and open them up and drag our window legend on and place it. And now we have a kind of a floor plane with respect to the window. And this is dynamic. We can double click into this and we can add some dimensions to it. I would ask you just to show that you are able to do this. And you can add, obviously, annotations here. So this could be, excuse me, style 1, let's say. And obviously the text is way big, so let's select it and make it our schedule size. Oops. And spell it right. Hold on. And that's really still quite huge. So I'm thinking about how we would manage that. We can take these windows and move them off a bit. Still not really happy with that. I would like to see that to be a smaller. That's a little bit better. I'm going to then copy this over just to give you an idea about this idea of the way we might think about labeling these. This would be double hung. And then we copy this over again. And then get out of this. And I still want to move this line over. This is our floor line. This dimension is really obnoxious looking, so I'm just going to delete it. And we're going to deactivate this view. And I'm going to go ahead and delete it and drag it back on again. Oops. All right, so let's do the same thing now with the door schedule. I'm not particularly happy with this. I don't like the way we have so much space between them. I'd probably tighten this up a bit. We could probably do that quickly here. Now that we've got our type a little more managed. So I won't do too much more with that. Let's deactivate that view. And let's go right ahead now and right click on the legends again, make a new legend, and this time make it our doors. And we'll close off the windows of our families and we'll go to our doors. And we had an exterior door. Once again, we'll go to a front elevation. And we'll go to our entry door. Drag it on. Front elevation. And then we had two styles of interior doors. We had our pocket doors, or excuse me, our sliding doors. And we had an interior, I think it was just a 32 by 84. Oops. Change this to a front elevation. Let me delete that one. Let's put our line in across here so we can kind of get these all grounded. I'm thinking I'm going to move this one over so that the two interior doors are close to each other. These could be obviously two different legends. And, you know, maybe just to annotate these, we'll just say interior or exterior doors. And I'll copy this over. Interior doors. And then go back to our sheet. And we'll pull in our windows, or excuse me, our doors. So that's a quick and dirty introduction. Let's go to a little more full view here. I can see a lot of things I'd like to clean up. I'd like these windows to be moved over a little bit. So more look in the kind of spacing that's going on here. One other thing we could do is let's drag in a 3D view. You know, the one thing to keep in mind here, besides my dog barking, is the idea that these should be as descriptive as possible. These are designed to assist people who are building your home or your residence or your commercial building, and we really want to make it as easy to not make mistakes. So one of the thinkings here is we could actually even bring on a 3D view, so it's easy to visualize these. Wouldn't be in the normal way we. I'm going to just bring up the scale of this a little bit, and we'll crop it down. But it would be easy in a discussion now that you have this drawing created or laying on the sheet to be actually able to see those windows in the actual building itself, and much clearer than what you would see in a floor plan view. And let's make this a realistic rendering. It doesn't have to be all that fancy. And then once I'm happy with that, I want to just turn off the crop region. And we'll go ahead and delete this or deactivate it. And then I'll delete it. And we'll drag it back on. Okay, so here we have the start of the idea of how legends and schedules work. So we have our floor plan with the tagging. We now have a relationship between the mark that is on the, for instance, the door, like here is a 10. That's an exterior door. You can see that it's a double exterior door. So there's a correlation between this mark and its appearance here. And even though these are 4 of the same doors, they are repeated 4 times in here, but they all have a new mark number to it. So these aren't adding up how many of each one. And there are ways you can do that by how you create your spreadsheet. So very descriptive, help somebody plan what windows and doors need to be purchased for the project, for estimating. It helps the carpenter do rough framing. For instance, we could have, these are the rough openings for the windows. We could also have the sill height, and between that and a floor plan dimension, they would have all the information they would need to locate a window, and the same way with the door. So that's what I'd like to see as a drawing submitted, or something, even an improvement on that.